Hi everybody, welcome to Points of Interest live from Eurogamer. I am Ruby Bayer and Liz Kerstein has joined me today. I am so excited to have you here.
I gotta say I'm excited to be here. I've never been on the receiving end of that intro music before and it's super cool.
Isn't it cool?
Very exciting.
Yeah, McLean Deemer wrote that for us and I think he had way too much fun writing that. So we are doing a Points of Interest from Eurogamer, and if you're familiar with our show, this is our PvE live stream. This is our Living World side of the Guild Wars 2 live stream that we do on a regular basis on our Twitch channel. This is a sister show to Ready Up, our competitive show. We do this at 12 noon on Fridays, U.S. Pacific time. I have to get used to talking about North American time.
Yeah,
I'm still
all the way from the West Coast.
All the way from the West Coast. I'm still trying to get used to the jet lag, and it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So we are doing kind of an intro show. If you're an experienced Guild Wars 2 player, this might kind of get you excited again for those things that you've started taking for granted. I know while I was preparing this, I kept going, I forgot about that. This is a thing that I just had completely taken for granted, and oh my gosh, I'm getting excited about this again. So what we wanted to talk about today is how Guild Wars 2 is really a community-oriented game. It's an MMO, which means that you play with other people, and we don't want you to have that mindset where you get stressed out or start tensing up or get preemptively angry when you see another player coming. We want you to get excited and be happy that there are other players coming to play with you.
Yeah, a player should always represent for you an opportunity for cooler gameplay, better rewards, stuff like that.
Yeah, actually playing with them, not against them, unless you're in PvP, and that's a whole other story. But
completely different. All gloves are off.
Yeah, that just mostly means pain and death for me. So let's kind of get started here. I want to start with one of the really, really simple things that we do in Guild Wars 2 that means we don't just play lip service to this thing about community gameplay. Liz is probably going to start laughing because she knows right where I am. We're going to talk about gathering nodes, and I'm going to run over here and I'll kind of let you talk about why gathering nodes are so awesome.
Yeah, so Guild Wars 2, we have gathering nodes out in the open world where you collect resources to harvest for crafting, and we've made those so that they're all individual. Rather than seeing something and really hoping that you beat everybody else to it, you're going to want to be like, hey everybody, there's a rich iron vein here, come over here and get all the iron you possibly can, as opposed to kind of fighting for that material.
Actually, so this was good timing. You can see that there's another guy here, and he's on TV. He just finished mining this node, and somebody else just showed up and they're mining it. And, oh look, I can do it too.
There are a couple other places where there's kind of a standing, rich selection of resources, and players will, put down banners that we'll talk about in a little bit so that everybody gets buffs, and it's really a communal thing. It's everybody enjoying kind of the bounty of Tyria together.
Yeah, it's really nice. So plants and the iron, not just iron, all of the metals, the ore nodes, trees, all of these gathering nodes, once you mine them, they're not depleted for everybody. So you're not doing that thing where you see something in the distance that you want and you're racing and you're hurrying and you're just hoping that you get there before somebody else snakes it out from under you. I'm really not here to mine for my own character, so I will kind of not do this. I was actually kind of sitting around hoping that somebody who didn't have their falling damage trait would jump down here, because no, it's not going to happen. And that would make a handy segue for the next thing that I wanted to talk about, which was reviving players. Liz ran into this a little bit during our live stream yesterday. Reviving players is another thing. It's just it seems like a little thing on the surface of it, but it's kind of a fun thing that we do. We give you rewards for reviving players, so it encourages that community feeling, because it's nice to help people, but let's be really honest, it's better if there's something in it for you. So we give you XP. There's, oh good, this worked out well. You can see on the side of my screen here, part of my dailies is today 0 of 10 allies revived. If I revive 10 other players, I will get some XP and I'll get some reward points, and we make it worthwhile.
Yeah, it's pretty great, and it makes interesting gameplay because every profession can, revive other players during battle. You do find these moments when you're like, oh well, this boss is almost down. Do I want to, kill him so that the other player gets a rally, or do I not really have much faith in myself, so I'm going to revive him really quickly and try and get that off so that we can take the boss down together. So it makes real cool gameplay moments, and lets you get helpful out in the open world when someone thought they could go over a cliff that was just a little too high for them.
Yeah, I really was sitting here going, maybe somebody did that. And I was actually hoping for somebody's death here, which is kind of sad, but it was for a good cause. All right, so let's move on. I'm going to swap to a different character real quick, and while I am swapping out characters, let's talk about one of the really cool things here, which is enemies and how battles work in our game.
Yeah, so Guild Wars 2, again, because we want you to think, oh, well, how can I work with this other player? We don't have mob tagging in the terms of, oh, I got first hit, therefore I get full XP and you don't. Anybody who does damage to a creature is going to get credit for that kill when the creature goes down. Everyone's going to get full loot rates, everyone's going to get full XP rates, which works pretty well so that you're never going, well, I really need that boss for whatever reason, and you probably really need that boss for whatever reason. So let's figure out who gets here first and who gets to get first tag.
Yeah.
You're more like, hey, someone's coming over here. That's going to make my fight way easier.
Yeah.
And with rich nodes like we were looking at earlier, oftentimes there'll be a veteran or a champion of some sort on top of those. So you're always actually hoping that somebody else is going after that same rich core node so that you can be like, oh great, that's going to make this fight so much easier and I can get to the rewards faster.
Yeah, and actually what makes this so cool to me, what I think is one of the greatest things that this system brings, is that when a boss spawns, when it's time for a huge boss, when it's time for a huge event, map chat absolutely lights up.
Absolutely.
Players start calling out, hey, this event is about to happen. This boss is spawning. They will start putting up worldwide buffs, which again we'll talk about here in a few minutes. They will call out the progress of the event. They will say, hey, here's what we're doing. They will start linking the waypoints in map chat so players can click right on the map on this waypoint in map chat and get there quicker. They will do everything they can to help anybody in hearing range get to this boss and participate in this battle faster.
Tomorrow, one of our live streams is actually going to be Tequatl, which is one of our big, huge, epic world bosses, and that's going to show a lot of this really well. Players coordinating it together and figuring out not just how can I do this best for myself, but how can I do this best for the team. Because anyone who participates in the Tequatl event in any capacity is going to get those rewards. So you're not thinking, well, I want to make sure I'm doing direct damage so that I get the best rewards. You're thinking, okay, well, maybe I'm better on the turret. Maybe I'm better running a defense squad. So we've oriented rewards towards really creating a community success mindset.
Yeah, the Tequatl event is super, super fun to me. In part, not just because of the event, but in part because it's this huge party atmosphere beforehand. I mean, people start gathering, like 45 minutes before the time, and just hanging out and talking and doing these buffs and getting everything ready for this fight. And it's just this huge community event that's not just about come in, tag the boss, and get out.
So make sure to tune in tomorrow for that fight.
Yeah, and we will show you firsthand. So we are going to do something else kind of
and
cool
show
here.
some cool stuff.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to actually out my guild here. Let's start with something kind of fun. I just kind of changed my mind. We have some toys that don't give like in-game advantages or anything. This is just kind of a fun thing for nothing more than the community to have fun together. I'm just going to put this out and watch people run over. We have a water fight balloon bucket that we introduced just, about a month ago?
Yeah, it's pretty recent. It was one of our summer editions.
This is nothing more than let's have a water balloon fight in-game. So let me put it out there, and this is my item, but as soon as I get it out there in the world... Did it go out there? Try either one of these. We've also got the bobblehead. Oh no. Okay, what other items do we have out?
Somebody's got something out.
Somebody's got something out already. Do you see it?
No. We can probably just run around a little bit and get out of range of that.
Yeah. There is an indicator, and actually that is something that we have done to help you find these things. What it's telling me is that there's something out already in the world, and you can find it. There are a couple of little crossed colorful flags somewhere on the map that will help me, and everybody in the world can see that, and that will tell you, hey, here's a cool thing that somebody has put out for everybody to come and play with. I'm going to use some of my guild stuff here. Tell me when you see the banquet. There's also a guild banquet. We're going to have a party for everybody in the area here. Sorry, guild. I will give that back later.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. I just put out a guild banquet, and this is a thing that any guild can do as long as they have this is actually a reward for the guild playing together and doing things together. It's a guild experience banner. Anybody in the world can come up, and it says claim buff. Anybody in the world come up and touch this. And I now have an XP buff that lasts for a half an hour. I can come back, walk away. I'll come back and I can top that off. A guild banquet table, come up and take a bite from that. I now have +2 to all of my attributes for the next 10 minutes. And come back and top that off. As long as this is in the world, any player who runs past it can come by and participate. Then we have the best part. This is a Norn-sized keg.
Yeah, everybody likes to party with their guild, and this is something where you can kind of invite other players to join in the fun. You know, as someone else is running through, they're going to be like, oh, hey, look, there's a guild keg. You know, I can help myself to a bit of a drink, help myself to some attribute points from the feast, get some experience boosts. Those sort of things are always popular, and as you're running through any populated area, you're likely going to see some of those from guilds who are kind of sharing the bounty of their players' work with everybody else coming through.
And somebody's trying to set it on fire.
It's not a party unless there's some fireworks going on.
You know? Let's just do that. There we go. So those are just some of the kind of fun things. Let's see if I can get the balloon fight going. And it is not going to let me do that. Oh, and somebody's got their mini pet out. We have awesome, professional, omniscient Doliak sitting out there.
Doliaks are some of my favorite minis in the game.
They really, really
Them
are
and the
super
adorable
cute.
little gift baby Doliaks. Super cute.
Yep, I really, really love those. So these are just a few of the things that we have put out in the game because we really, really do want you guys to play together and enjoy yourselves and not actually compete. We don't want you to play against each other. We want you guys really to have fun and enjoy this as playing together and not wishing all of these people would go away and get out of your game.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also made it, it's taken a lot of the pressure off of interacting with other players in MMOs. Like, I find that, you know, as you're running, you don't have to worry about, like, do I have to group up with them for this to work? Do I have to, like, intentionally seek people out? It's just something that as people come by, you're excited to see them.
I am obsessed with finding whatever it is in this game that somebody has put out because I want to go play with whatever toy this game is telling me is out. There's one last thing that I want to cover before we kind of wrap up. And then I want to come back to the camera because I have one last thing that I didn't get a chance to put in the show notes because it happened at the very last second. There's something that you'll get to show better with the Tocatl fight tomorrow, but when we talk about how you don't have to tag that boss and how you don't have to fight other people for that loot, at the end, those end chests, that's one of my favorite part, is this big
Everybody's
rush.
just rushing over for that final
Because
chest.
everybody gets the end chest. Everybody gets the end loot. Yeah, and the gigantic chest spawns and it opens up and the big purple light comes out and everybody in the vicinity, there's this enormous rush of players. And when they're calling out the status of battle, that's like we said earlier, map chat absolutely lights up, telling everybody in the vicinity, get here. And it's one of the greatest things that I love about our community. If you are doing some of these big boss meta events, and these are events that chain off of one another and keep going for a very long period of time, players will say, hey, if you're just getting here, they don't even care if you just got here and didn't have a chance to help, if you didn't like earn this particular loot because you didn't happen to log in soon enough. They will say, if you want the end chest, we're finishing up in like 2 minutes here. This thing is almost over.
Get here,
here's
get
the
in.
link. Get here so you can get the loot. They just want people, it's not even get over here and help me, get over here and do something for me. It's get over here and get something for yourself because I want nothing more than for these other players to get something good and I want nothing more for this other player to have fun. And it's really, the way that we have done this has manifested itself in our community members reaching out to each other and making this a better game for their other players.
Absolutely.
And it makes me happy.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so there's one last thing here that we want to finish up. On Points of Interest, we do a segment where we show off some fan art. And that is a thing that I didn't want to take poor Ian's time behind the booth and bring like 10 pieces of fan art and go, and I need you to make this happen too. But one of our fans came today and she kind of saved the day by giving me this little felted claw gun, and I don't know how well people can see this. I almost died. Anna is a Guild Wars 2 player since 2005, and claw guns are a race in our game. They're one of the races. It's not playable, but they have become. They're just iconic.
Yeah,
everybody
they're
loves
one of the most
Cloggins.
well-loved races. You can save them and help them throughout the storyline.
I'm kind of looking around to see if nobody is a Cloggin right now. There's actually a tonic that can turn you into one.
But they're well-loved, little cute race full of sweet, innocent little creatures who have no concept of self. It's always
Very self-deprecating.
Cloggin.
Yes, and we all love them. And I have a little baby Cloggin, little bow in her hair, and she's a younger one, which means that she has little spots on her back. And Anna made and felted this, and I am about to die from cute.
So thank you, Anna. That was a wonderful, wonderful creation.
Yeah, we absolutely love this. Thank you, Anna, so much. So that was Points of Interest. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We are taking a little break right now because we are here at Eurogamer. Points of Interest is going to resume our regular every other Friday schedule on October 10th on our Twitch TV channel, Guild Wars 2. And you can watch the archived episodes on our YouTube channel, which is also Guild Wars 2.
We're going to be streaming some World vs. World about 4 p.m. local time.
Yep.
We're going to be streaming some tomorrow and again on Sunday, so be sure you're watching the Twitch channel or Guild Wars 2 Twitch to keep on top of all the Guild Wars 2 action. If you're liking what you're seeing of Guild Wars 2, the game is currently on a free trial until October 1st, so hop in, download the client, try it out for yourself. If you like it, you have till October 5th to get it for 50% off. So we hope you'll enjoy Guild Wars 2. Come join us in our awesome game.
And come by the Twitch booth and see us here at Eurogamer. So thank you guys very much. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Bye.
Bye.